right. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. This is take 2, although I think everybody missed take 1.
Last time we did that,
yeah.
we got killed. We got killed.
Oh, Barry said we're pulling a bit, boy. Never start on time. We tried it. We changed our technical setup a little bit, and of course it failed on the first try, so we were late. Apologies.
Actually, I thought it was because I was working. You guys don't understand. I don't get to work that much.
George is in his real office
today.
All right, let's see. We got Alex. Hey, Alex, how are you? We got JJT. Hey, we got JM. We got Barry. Welcome, everybody.
Does anybody want to say, good job, George? Does anybody want to say that? I want to hear those things.
Well,
all you haters out there didn't believe.
Explain yourself.
Bitcoin and what it went down to. It's still, guys, it ain't over with. You might think I'm an idiot, which maybe I do too, but it's not over with.
Martin says, hi, George and Tom. What did everybody buy this week?
Corn, wheat, cotton.
Alex says, good job, George. So there you go.
Thank you, Alex. Remember, nobody believed me.
Hey, WLG.
No one.
JJT wants to know if you got a new haircut or if that's just a new look.
No, this is called working outside in 90-degree weather all day with my wife. We bought the oldest house in the county that my business is operated out of. And we had to do, when people do brickwork, the guys, when they're done with the brick, they just throw them on the ground and walk away. Right?
You were moving brick today?
I'm moving brick, yeah. Hey, back. Turn the AC down.
We got, let's see, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Miro or Mero. Good job, he says. And hey, Rob S.
Thank you. How many people called that one? I think it was. And by the way, Tom always, most of my logic comes from listening to Tom's logic and disagreeing a little bit of his logic. So
you just take what I say and disagree.
We're just in a fight. Crypto's in a fight. You can sit anywhere. Want to sit on the couch up front or something?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, we're in a battle, but the last 2 days in a row, we're winning. So it's been a good. This is a rare Friday. I think this is 2 Fridays in a row that we're green. So in a year of red Fridays, we got a little bit of a streak going. Bing Bong said, George is moving bricks. I knew that cash flow was coming from somewhere.
Yeah, amen to that.
Oh, Barry's saying, I do remember Tom always calling for max pain. Yeah, I mean, and I still think we're about to, we'll talk about what I think. I think we got some good stuff ahead, some tough stuff ahead, but I'm still very bullish long term. Definitely have not changed my mind on any of that. Sorry, Barry said, sorry, George calling for max pain.
Max pain. Bring it. It ain't over with yet. Bring the pain, because it's coming. I mean,
well, it's not coming.
Look at it.
We're in the middle of it.
Huh? You caught the middle of it?
Well, no, the pain's not coming. It's here. We're in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's here.
It has arrived.
It's all good though. I hope somebody started liking XRP and researched it. Still loved my XRP.
XRP was pretty strong all through this down trend. I think it was like 36 cents when I looked earlier. And
I think it might be
it didn't really
35,
crash.
34. No, I still predict it's going to 22 cents, just so you know.
22 cents.
Yep.
All right, so trying to make this look right.
Hang on, let me show everybody my conference room. No one would actually believe this.
All right, quick tour.
Oh, hang on. How do I do that? Did I lose myself?
I see your hand.
How do you switch this around now? Oh, well, here. See, this is the office. We're in the executive office. The conference table. Whatever. Who cares?
It's a look into George's world.
I call this the Coodab world.
JJT Polygon. I know.
What are you thinking? Tom's all messed up right now.
Huh? Who? What? We got a thing from JJT. He said he didn't look today, but Polygon had a great day earlier this week. And George, that's what we were talking about 3 or 4 hours ago. I didn't buy any Polygon. I didn't do it, but I've been talking about it for 5 months. And so I got none of that run. So hopefully you guys did.
Just so you know, I don't know if it's on the stream, but you're fading in and out every time. I don't know if it's on the stream or what it is. Maybe it's just me.
Can you guys hear me? Am I fading in and out? Let me know on the comments if you guys can hear me or if I'm having technical...
I can't. I mean, it could be me, but it's bad. Like, I didn't even understand you. I thought you said that Polygon was going to the moon or something like that.
Polygon. Yeah, it had a huge run this week. All right, JM saying I'm clear on the stream. Barry saying I'm clear on the stream. So somehow it must be a connection.
Okay.
Connection.
You want to hit the miners?
Yeah, let's talk miners. We had green and some weird red. We got some weird red the last couple of days. And I called out a few yesterday, and they had another bad day today. So I think we got a few miners that people are losing confidence in. But Bitfarms is not one of them. Bitfarms had a big day, up 8.7. Hive, which everybody has crushed, it was up 10.5% today. So all I can say is I was there through the hard times with Hive. I've done several analysis on this. I know it feels like that reverse stock split was a bad thing, but they're actually outperforming the other Bitcoin miners. So,
oh wow,
it just all the Bitcoin, they happened to do that when Bitcoin went from 30,000 to 20,000. So everybody got crushed, but Hive and Hut, Hive and Bitfarms, I think are they were the two good performers on the day, and they're the two that are outperforming the other miners. Cleanspark as well. Cleanspark is actually, in the last month, up more than any miner. So, it's been a rough market. Everybody got beat up badly, and it looked like Hive was going to go back down to $1, but it's at 357 now, and I think it's moving right along, at least right along with the rest of the market, if not better. And I expect that to continue, in my opinion. I know it was very bad timing. It was a bad look, and it pissed a lot of people off. There's no other way to say it. But I think that they made it through that.
Wow. I just got a message that Georgia Power is going up 12%.
Uh-oh. You're going to have to turn your miners off.
12%, dude.
We got...
That's probably the largest increase in 15 years.
Wow. What are they? Yeah, you've had cheap power in Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because they made us pay for the nuclear power plants, and now that they're up, there's no way. I'm telling you right now, there's no way power went up with nuclear. There's just no way. Nuclear power is the cheapest kilowatt per hour or per minute, whatever you want to say, that there is in the world.
They're just collecting money. That's what they get to do.
Yep.
JM said bought some Bitfarm yesterday. I bought some Bitfarm 2 days ago. So I bought Bitfarm this week. I did sell one thing, so I'll tell you guys what I sold. But I bought Bitfarm, and again, just added to my positions a little bit. And I'm going real slow. Like, I did not go crazy. I'm just very slowly dollar cost averaging in, because like George led with, we're having a nice little run up, which I think is going to continue for a bit, but I expect to get hit again after this. So I will look to take some profits at some point. But I did buy some Bitfarms. I bought some Hut. I bought some Riot and some Cleanspark. And I had a small position in Cores that I bought back at, I got in, I think it was at $5.86, and it had gotten down to that once, and I thought that was insanity. It skyrocketed, got all the way back down there, so I bought some, and, now it's, let's see, what is it now? Now it's $2.09, so I got crushed on that. But I sold it several days ago, but I sold it for $2.30 or something like that, so I took a beating on that one, but it was it was my opening position in there, and I got crushed on it. So I swear I have lost confidence in Core Scientific in the short term. We'll see how the crypto market goes, but if George is right and we're in for extended periods of pain, then I'm worried about Cores.
I didn't sell. I couldn't lose that money.
You kept it. You had the same thing. You got a small position comparatively.
Couple hundred.
JM, I think he's saying he got into Bitfarm at $1.34. That's gold. I think that Bitfarm, Ricky's asking what's the over-under on Bitfarm acquiring another mining company, and I will tell you, I just did a video on the restructuring that they had to do. And again, I think they're my biggest or second biggest position, so it's not like I'm running away from Bitfarms. I bought more this week, but they did have a misstep, and it left them in a position where they don't have, they had the room to make the misstep. They took a calculated risk. It did not pay off, but as a result of that, I don't think that they can spend the cash flow to do that. I think they got to keep it in operations. Right now, everybody's got to, I don't see them taking a big risk right now and acquiring something at a time where right now they've got some nice liquidity. They just jumped through hoops to provide themselves with some nice liquidity, and they had to sell almost half their Bitcoin to do it at its low. So I don't think they freed that money up to go spend it and be broke. I feel like they're going to save that and see where we go from here. Plus which, they've got a lot of money left to pay on, well, a lot is a relative term. They still have, I think, maybe another $40 million to pay by the end of the year to get themselves to 7.2 exahash worth of equipment. So that's all ordered. It's all deposits down, but they've got some money left to pay to get there. So it's my opinion that they will stay the course, do what they're doing. They already, they were bent on getting to 8 exahash by the end of the year, and they've had to abandon ship on that plan. So I think they're going to try and stick to the new plan as hard as they can. Gary, good evening. Martin said he dollar cost averaged on Hut. Me too. JJT said did not buy miners this week. bought Beam and VOXTUR. Yeah, Beam has been bouncing up and down like crazy. That's a volatile stock, and it's technically an EV. It's an EV stock. I mean, they're a charging station, and I don't know why, but all the charging stations got beat up today. On a day where, I don't know if you guys can see any of this. So, like, Volta was down, ChargePoint was down, Blink was down, EVgo was down, Beam was down. And some of them were down pretty good. And that is on a day where, you know, well, I guess it was hit or miss up and down in the EV sector today. But the charging stations got beat up. You think TeraWulf is doomed? That's WLG is asking that. I think that TeraWulf, I won't say I lost confidence in them. I never had confidence in them. And they need to disclose. Who knows? You might as well just guess, because they've literally told us nothing. I went through every press release they have. I went through their 10K. I went through their 10Q for the most recent quarter. They're giving monthly updates, but they do not include how many machines they've acquired, how many machines are up and running, what their exahash rate is. They don't tell us how many Bitcoin they've mined, and they don't tell us how many Bitcoin they're holding. So other than that, they're very good at transparency. So to me, and they've got a very complicated situation. You know, they've got a partnership that's basically done up through a subsidiary that, you know, they're out $200 million there on machines that, as of right now, I have no idea if they even have one of those machines. And even if they do, they got to split the profits 50-50 on the vast majority of their machines. And they have very little liquidity. They've given themselves, I think they got a line of credit or access to a little bit of, $50 million or something, but, you know, that's not going to do it. So I'm not calling their demise, but I would say they are in my they're on my list of stocks I personally would not invest in. So I think there's going to be some big winners, and to me, TeraWulf is just way too risky. If they would come out, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll do a press release and say, hey, we got this, and that. But until then, I'm not going to guess. I don't know. Let's put it this way. If it was good numbers, they would have told us. They're not hiding their good numbers. Barry had funds in Celsius, so they're locked up. Hopefully it was just a piece of your puzzle and not a big piece. JM said, but Wolf is endorsed by actors. Oh, I forgot that, so I'm back in. They must be good. I know, what a joke. It's unbelievable. You got all these celebrities endorsing things that who knows? Crypto Jan is asking, do you think Bitcoin miner stocks will go out of business? I think some of these people aren't going to make it, depending on how long this lasts. And I do think I think we're going sideways for a little while, and I think we may have at least one more time where we test our lows. So there's some companies that, even if they don't go out of business immediately, they're not going to do what is necessary to gear up for the halving, and so by then their business model isn't going to work anymore, in my opinion. Rob's saying he just added Netflix. I was looking at that one. I've been looking at some stocks that I never in a million years would have thought I would buy, and Netflix is one of them. For me, I had about 10 or 15 stocks that I laughed at for years because, in my opinion, they were ridiculously overpriced. But Netflix has dropped so much, it's on my watch list now. And I got a few others like that. I mean, the overreaction to what happened to Netflix was wild. I mean, they're still a monster. They're still the monster in that space, although there is another streaming service that I believe is going to dominate. I've done videos on them, and I'm about to do another one. Alex is asking if I can arrange for a Coors interview with the CEO to hear his expectations on a crypto winter. I will reach out. You know what? I haven't reached out to Coors, so I will do that. I'll reach out to them and see if they're willing to come on the channel and talk. I'd love to hear. There's a few that I've ignored, and I should just reach out to them and give everybody a shot to come on. And because it is, it's nice to. I get a lot of comfort. We had one of our Discord members went to the Bitfarms shareholder presentation, and we got a lot of info in real time on the Discord, and so thank you for that. If you happen to be on live with us right now, and it's comforting. It's comforting to hear from a company and to hear it right from the horse's mouth, and or sometimes it's not comforting, but that's good information to know too. So that they're definitely worth talking to. JJT says, as long as Coors is not selling hodled Bitcoin, I'm not selling. If they sell up to about 50% of their monthly mined BTC to finance their operations, I'm fine with that. Well, they did just sell, just so you know, last month they sold 2,500 or 2,600 Bitcoin. So they had been, a lot of people changed their position on this hodling in the last, when Bitcoin dropped from 30 to 20, it looks to me like the miners pressed the panic button. Some of them had to press the panic button based on how they were set up. Some of them, I think, just pressed the panic button. And, for Coors to sell 2,500 that's a lot. I mean, nobody's had a sale like that out of the miners that we look at. Oh, although now Bitfarms just did that. Bitfarms sold 3,000 Bitcoin in June. Really, in 1 week in June, they sold 3,000 Bitcoin at, just a little bit over 20,000. So, like I said in my video, I can guarantee you that was not plan A for them. So I think they're in good shape. I added to my position, but that was not the plan. Things did not work out the way they hoped there, and hindsight's 2020. Just trying to catch up. I'm not good at... Rob S. knows me. Paramount, yes.
Did Paramount take off, Tom?
They had a big day today, which makes me mad because, I have a small position in Paramount, and I was looking to buy some options, and the market's been going in a way where I thought they would keep dropping. They had a big day today. Paramount, everyone's missed the big picture on Paramount. Paramount is killing it right now. This is the best year they've ever had, and their stock is at historic lows. So I'm just heads up. I'm going to make a Paramount video, and I'm a buyer on Paramount. This is not financial advice.
Well, it is financial advice. It's just for you.
It's my own financial advice. Jamie is saying Curiosity Streams. I still hold Curiosity Streams. I like that company. I mean, they're not to the scale. This is what I'm saying. Paramount, if you compare them to their competition, look at Amazon. They're one of the 5 biggest companies in the world. Look at Disney. They're one of the 15 biggest companies in the world. These are the streaming service. Look at Netflix, until even after they just crashed, they're still, what are they, $100 billion company. And you've got Paramount here trading at $15 billion. Paramount has more intellectual property than, they rival everybody, even including Disney. They rival them in intellectual property. And they're trading at maybe 1/20th what Disney trades at. So I'm not saying they're going to run up to Disney's numbers, but I'm saying they're underpriced. So to see a double over the next year in that would not surprise me at all.
Right.
Oh, thanks, Rob. Yeah, Rob's doing my job for me. Let's see. Everybody, please like and
Hasta
subscribe.
luego. Mucho telemundo.
Like and subscribe. And remember, if you're not a member of our Discord, it's free. And we got a great Discord. We got a great bunch over there. Sometimes it's a little bit heated, but all in all, it's a lot of good info. And again, we got some inside information yesterday in the Discord.
What was it?
We had one of our members went to Bitfarms' annual meeting for the shareholders. And
information.
yeah, he got to, apparently it was a lot more access than I was expecting. He had a conversation with Ben. I mean, he got the personal phone numbers from the executives, and I was comforted by the information that he was giving. And I just talked to Ben on the channel a month ago, but a lot's changed since then. So
really,
they changed their plan massively since then. But they said some stuff that I had not heard yet, which was good. And so
how are they money wise? How are they cash wise?
I mean, they had to do some dramatic stuff to get back into the liquid position that they want to be in. They sold 3,000 Bitcoin. So, they got about $110 million of liquidity right now. And so that puts them in good shape. But I believe they're going to be very careful with that money because, now is not the time to go out and make yourself feel liquid again. How long can that 110
last them?
Oh.
How long does that 110 can that last them?
I mean, that will last them through as long as this goes if they're careful with it. So,
are they just going to hodl?
They sold 3,000 Bitcoin, and they did officially announce they're changing their hodling strategy. They are going to sell Bitcoin every month.
What?
Yes, George. They were watching the live stream.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
George has been calling for that for the last month.
The $100,000?
I'm afraid that was free advice.
Only way you can make it through this, by the way.
I'm just catching up. George is on location, so I'm reading the chat, which I'm awful at. So I'm catching up. Hey, Eric, welcome. Rob, I hope you're feeling better. You left one of your... I didn't respond to some messages. I got to catch up on that, but I think you were saying you're ready to just, if you can get back to even, get out. So are you still feeling that way, or are you feeling better after the last couple days? Any idea on how much of the worldwide hash rate is on our list? So it's less than you would think. I can't tell you that number off the top of my head, but it's nowhere near half, nowhere near. Now, had everybody done exactly what they said they were going to do, it would have been right. And if you look at everybody's plan on where they were going to be at the end of this year versus where they're actually going to be, most companies missed by anywhere from 15% to 95%. So it's a lot less than it would have been. But I mean, and the difficulty level just went down the last time. A lot of the older machines are not profitable at $20,000 Bitcoin. At this difficulty level, even the slightly reduced difficulty level still leaves, I think, from the S17s down, it's dicey. The S9s down are just straight up offline now. Even the 17s are not, those are tough. Matt P says, Goldman buys Celsius Network, ? Any truth? I don't know the answer to that. That would be good news for everybody, and it would be chump change for Goldman, so that would be nice. Eric saying Curiosity's at $1.57. Yeah, I'm feeling that pain too. It's just every small cap high growth stock, all the streaming stocks followed along with Netflix. And it really doesn't make any sense. CuriosityStream's business model has nothing in resemblance to Netflix. They are at the exact polar opposite end of their life cycle, right? Netflix is the most mature company in the whole space by a mile, and CuriosityStream is in very early, super high growth. So, but it doesn't matter. In this market, everybody gets beat down. So, I mean, you guys have seen some of my videos. I've got my 80% down list, 85% down, 90% down, and now I've got my down 95% list, and now I have my down 98% list. So, this is a rough market. It's worse than the indexes are showing, because there's just a few sectors propping things up a little bit. We're really down much more. Even, the big high tech, the high market cap tech stocks have gotten wrecked in a way that, and even a stock like Disney, they're down, I think they're down 50%. That just does not happen to Disney. One of the YouTubers I watch picked Disney to be the best investment for 2022. I won't say their name because, listen, everybody's wrong this year. So, join the club.
I'm aggravated.
You're aggravated? Who, you are?
Yep.
What's happening?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's going up. It's going to go up.
I might be changing my forecast a month ago.
What's your new forecast?
They don't like Bitcoin.
You're breaking up a little bit, but that's all right. I can still hear you. You got a new number?
I got to really think about it, but it might be more. We got to get to that halving. That's going to help us.
See, Barry, that answers your question. Barry asked, does George ever get as mad and stressed at stock crypto as Tom seems to? Well, I think it's happening right now as we speak. Sorry, I'm catching up here.
I'm sitting at a desk of an employee that used to work for me that stole a lot of money, and I don't. It's like bad mojo or something. You know what I mean?
Why don't you switch desks?
It's the only computer in the office. Everybody else has laptops.
Will Voyager survive is a question that we got on the chat. I mean, I did a Voyager video, and then they came out with updated information, and I had to put on that one that it's don't watch this video, and I made a new video. They got a big problem. I'm pretty surprised that their price has leveled out, and I think that, listen, I don't want to spread anything negative. I hope they survive, because a lot of people got their money in there. Forget even those who have invested in the stock the people who have invested in the stock, you can say goodbye to your money. But the people who have their money on the exchange, it would really be nice if they could survive and have those people get their money back. Right now, they're restricting withdrawals to $10,000 in a 24-hour period. So they haven't done a Celsius and stopped altogether, but they're in survival mode right now. There's some big money behind them that wants them to survive. So for that reason, I think there's a chance that they will. If that wasn't the case, they'd be gone already. Because their exposure to 3 Arrow was, that was very bad. I couldn't believe the number when I saw that. Let's see.
I finally got into this computer.
Rob saying, I'm still looking to get out. Do you think we'll see CleanSpark back at 14 plus? Definitely.
He just wants to get to 14 and get out.
I think we'll see. And I mean, for me, my short-term stuff is telling me, and again, I've been wrong as many times as I've been right. So this year's just been a crapshoot. The technical analysis has been sketchy at best, and it's never a guarantee. But I do think we're going to run up. It looks to me a lot like we're going to run back up to the 200-week moving average, which is at around 22,500. There's only been 2 times in the history of Bitcoin that it's gone below the 200-week moving average. So it's below that right now. This is the 3rd time in history. The other 2 times, it immediately returned right back above it. So, and by immediately, I mean, within 2 to 4 weeks. So that was not some extended stay below that number. So we'll see. There's a lot of firsts going on right now. So maybe this time that doesn't happen. So I think in my opinion, it's going to run back up to that line. And then at some point, they're going to have another push and push Bitcoin around. And we're going to go back down and test some lower numbers again. But I do think the range that we've seen, in my opinion, that's what you're looking at. I got a line at 15,700 that in my mind would be the 2 other times we took out the 200-week moving average. It ran right back up, but in the middle, in those 2 weeks, it dropped both times. It dropped 30%. So super small sample group. So, there's no, I'm not going to say that's what happened those 2 times. That's what's going to happen this time, but that's the track record, and we'll have to see. I don't think we're going to get down to that number this time, but we've got every line I've drawn's been broken. So I hate even drawing them anymore. I feel like that's just like putting a target on the chart. Eric wants to know, was George excited when Bitcoin went down? Yes, he was.
I stayed up all night. I stayed up all night until I think it was 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning when it hit the low. And then I bought.
George was pleased with his prediction, and he called it.
Love that you guys give me all a rough time.
I'm looking at this. Eric is recommending I take a look at this stock. First, let's see what they do. A molecular diagnostic company develops and markets novel, non-invasive genomics tests to diagnose skin cancer. I'll look into this, but I have a long-standing rule. I'm totally clueless in the entire healthcare, diagnostics, research, pharmaceuticals, and there's so many of these companies. It's absolutely. If you look at the Russell 2000, like 25% of the companies in there are in this space, and I lump it all together. It's a bunch of different industries within the healthcare sector, but and by the way, most of them are down 90%. Now, the ones and that's the way this goes. Now, with these guys, it looks like they've got a product and they're doing their thing. So they're not in the same situation where they're waiting for something to, pass phase 3 testing. And, it's almost like a binary thing. It's pass, fail. You fail phase 3, then, your stock goes back to 0 and you start over again. But this does not look like that kind of company. It looks like they've got a product that's already in use. $194 million market cap. So I'll dig into this offline. I don't want to make everybody watch me do it, but up 4% today. Oh, so it's way down. It is, well, like everything else in the market, it's at $6 and its 52-week high was $48. So it's feeling the same pain as the rest of the small cap. DMTK is a great product. That's from Eric. This is different gravy, DMTK. So, yeah, I mean, it does not look like the ones that scare me the most are the ones, oh, we're in phase 2B of this, and we're in phase 1A of that, and we're in phase, it's like every one of those steps along the way is a landmine because, if you don't, you're done. If you don't get through it, you're done, and that product's done forever. So then you got to start over. Now, there's a lot, the big pharma companies have 1,000 things in the pipeline, so it doesn't really make a big difference for them. But these small companies, $194 million market cap, but again, that is not this company. They're not in that situation. It looks like they do something different than that. Barry says, will Musk buy Twitter? It's funny that's like faded from the public awareness. That was the #1 topic of conversation. It's being priced like he's gonna either not buy it or buy it at a nice discount. That's what I would say. He really.
Tom, who called that one?
Did you call that?
Come on, are you kidding me? The first, I said, just so you know, Musk will never buy Twitter. I said that right in the beginning. Not at that price.
Not at that price. I don't think Twitter could have handled this any worse, in my opinion. I'm just baffled by this entire sequence of events. They're trading at $39, so the offer was at $54.20. And they're trading at $39.41 right now. So obviously the marketplace has pretty much eliminated the possibility that he's paying full price. And is he going to buy it at all? What do you guys think? Is he still going to buy this thing? I think it's a super strong. I think everybody's misreading this situation. Twitter's a very strong asset. They got a lot of fake bots, etc., etc. However, they are in many ways, they are the public square. Like, Twitter is the voice in this country. So there's value there beyond, in my opinion, and I'm not a big, I don't even hardly use Twitter.
I don't think it represents the common whatever.
Well,
the United States.
The views expressed on there may not represent the majority of people. And some of that has been, what Elon Musk, he stated that's a part of his problem. He thinks between their algorithm and their censoring, they're not letting everybody have a voice. And he thinks that, like, agree or disagree, everybody should have their voice. Or at least that's what he said he believes. Elon Musk, I like Elon Musk. He does a lot of, he's a winner. But when he says something, you don't know why he's saying it and what his motivation is, and so it's hard to interpret what he says.
You know what? That's a really interesting statement, saying that Elon Musk is a winner. I'm just going to say that take a step back and look at his family life. That's all I'm saying, not going anyplace else.
I don't know anything about his family life. So
well, everybody watching does right now. Trust me. They all know, and they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, unfortunately, I'm ignorant on that matter. So if he's failing there, well, that's obviously
isn't that sad? Thing. Because you know what? Being a dad to me has been the best gift in the world. And I wouldn't take that back for anything. Who cares about money in the end of life? Steve Jobs. What does he say on his deathbed?
What did Steve Jobs say on his? He was like,
you didn't know what he said?
It's like, you guys should have never fired me
in
the middle.
Sitting here now, as I look back at my life, I realize I made critical mistakes. Was it worth it at all?
Well, that's depressing.
Yeah, it was. Because he chased the dollar. Don't chase the money. Chase the honey.
Ricky's saying, tell Musk to buy Bitfarms.
Yes.
I've been telling him to buy Marathon.
Marathon, yeah.
Of course, I'm not actually telling him to buy that. I'm telling him on this live stream right now, but I have no access to Elon Musk. But if somebody were to buy Marathon and run that, I did a much deeper dive on Marathon. For as frustrated as I am with their management, that company is set up so well. It's staggering. It's like
Okay.
they're having to figure
Okay.
out a way to fail right now. It's amazing to me.
Okay, hang on a second, Tom. I'm pulling them up to see what they made coins this month, and I guarantee it's not going to be pretty.
That's what I'm saying. They're finding a way to fail because financially speaking, the decisions they've made at an executive level from a business standpoint have been outstanding. Operationally speaking, they just can't seem to get the job done. If they could merge those two, they would be an unstoppable force. Jedi Knight's asking Musk Dogecoin lawsuit thoughts. I think that nothing will come of that, in my opinion. So it garnered a lot of headlines, and it's interesting, but I can't believe anything will come of that. What do you guys think?
Who? What?
What do you think on the Elon Musk Dogecoin lawsuit?
I think he's screwed, and he's going to have to settle personally.
I think he can stretch that out indefinitely.
No, I don't. I think that he will. How much are they suing him for?
Oh, it was billions, and I think it's more money than he has. They were suing him for.
I think that they will settle for 50 million, 60 million.
Oh, well, I mean, if he's able to get rid of it that's not even settling. That's just a nuisance fee for Elon Musk.
Yeah, I know. That's what's going to happen.
Ricky's saying, what social media platform doesn't have a lot of bots? Exactly. I agree. I mean, you know what you're getting with social media.
Truth Social.
Well, they're brand new, so we'll see.
Wanted one, I gave you one.
Rob's saying, I think he's talking about Tesla if it dips below 600. Dave Cho is saying that he believes what Jobs actually said on his deathbed was, Lisa is not my real daughter.
Lisa is not my real daughter.
Eric.
Tom, you don't want to look at Marathon, by the way.
Listen, I just told you operationally they're a train wreck, but their business is set up to endure the stream of operational setbacks. I won't call them failures, but it's been one after the next, and they're still in incredible financial position. But
I don't.
What good does that do if they can't mine any Bitcoin?
I'm so worried. This is their pool, okay? There's nothing since the 18th.
Wow.
I mean, this is their pool. This is actual data. This isn't like an estimate or anything. There's nothing since, actually, go back. Sorry. Since the 12th. There's no data since the 12th.
That's a nightmare. This is not the first time they've had a situation.
This is BTC.com. This isn't like some scummy website.
Right. Operationally, it's just a nightmare. You know, they said, oh, we got 19,000 new machines set up and ready. It's like, okay. I mean, that's great, but they're not actually plugged in and running. So, that's the important part. And they've got, and that 19, they got another 50, 60,000 past that sitting in boxes. So, I mean, it's crazy.
This is insane.
But if the right person came in, got all his machines plugged in, made the right energy deals, you know, someone like Elon Musk has the influence to get, and then there's people that get things done and people that don't get things done. And it just seems to me like that executive team, they're very good at business, but they're very, very lacking in operational ability.
In my humble opinion.
In my humble opinion. And listen, they have that's why everyone's always like, well, you know, anybody can go into Bitcoin. We'll just buy machines and plug them in. The infrastructure, the the supply chain of some key items to get you got to make the electricity deal, you got to build the plants, you got to get all the switches, and then you got to run all the machines, and all of that I just described as construction, which is its own nightmare. If you're not an expert in construction, then you're in trouble. What will it take for me to buy some Polygon? If you can get me a time machine and I can go back to 5 days ago, I will buy some Polygon because I'm kicking myself big time.
You know what, guys, you want to know what Tom never told me? I would have bought it. He never even told me about it.
I didn't. I've been the whole crypto universe has been a nightmare, and you have definitely been in no thought process to add to your crypto position. So
are you kidding me? I've been totally adding. Absolutely wrong.
Well, that's true. You've been adding to the ones you have conviction in.
Yeah, I don't think, crypto's going away at all.
Rob saying only lawsuit I'm following is Ripple. I keep hearing it's like the news never ends on that. It keeps seems like good news comes out every day, but yet they're still sitting in the same spot they've been.
I would like to know if the Rothschilds did just purchase a lot of XRP.
How do you find that out? Eric's saying
I don't
Hive
know.
is
That's
doing
the big
well.
rumor. Huh?
Eric Brown said Hive is doing well, and we touched on that a little bit earlier. Hive is performing operationally. They're performing very well. Their stock has turned around, and if you do the analysis, or you don't have to, just watch my video, you'll see they've been outperforming most of their peers, even from the stock standpoint. So I know their stock just crashed, but guess what? Every Bitcoin miner's stock just crashed. And there's a lot of emotions in this. They did a reverse stock split, which people tend to hate. There's an extremely big negative association with that, and they called it a stock consolidation, which was, their way to not say reverse stock split, but it was a reverse stock split. And people get frustrated with that. And there's a history of companies doing poorly after a reverse stock split. But most companies do a reverse stock split are in a very different situation than Hive is in right now. So, it was awful timing. They did that simultaneously with Bitcoin crashing. And so it was an ugly look. But I think they're through that. I think that's gone now. So, and they had the best day out of everybody today. Gregor wants to know, y'all are buying Bitcoin or no?
I
lost you on that one.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm buying. Definitely. I'm not buying right now.
I've been averaging into the Bitcoin miners that I have the highest conviction in. And there's 4 right now that I'm still averaging into. There's other positions that I'm holding on to, but I'm not averaging in anymore. And the one core that was a fairly new position, I missed that one by a mile. And
Tom, are you going to tell everybody about the new crypto that's coming out? That we uncovered or what did we do? Discovered a scam in the crypto market world. And go ahead, Tom, you tell him.
No, you can tell him, but I don't. It's too soon for me to call it a scam, but let's just say anything that sounds too good to be true, and anything you hear from somebody at Burger King is probably not.
We are sending our investing out to see what a scam this really is. And this is, we're going to do, Tom's actually going to do something to make him go viral. It's going to be this video. Because this is what's wrong with crypto.
Well, the amount of scam token, there's just the concept, this industry is so unbelievably new. And the video I just put out today, I would urge you guys to at least just skip through that and take a little bit of a look at it, because this is a brand new industry. We all forget, like, we've been knee deep in it for what feels like a long time, but this is brand new. There's no regulations, and I say it every time. I'm not a regulations guy, so I'm not the guy lining up saying we got to regulate everything, but it can't be. The financial products cannot be totally unregulated and leveraged 20x, 50x, 100x it will inevitably lead to what's happening right now. There is no other outcome than what's happening right now, and that doesn't mean that the space is doomed. It just means that these are the growing pains we're going through because we are still at the beginning of this process, and we got to go through this, and that we got to weed out all the garbage. And to George's point, there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of theft, there's a lot of coins that are just straight up Ponzi scheme type scams, and then there's other people just taking people's money and they don't even really have a project.
Without giving the name of the thing we had with the guy at
at the conference, the guy who was trying to, and he gave us the and you got to buy today because we'll be out by the end of the day. It's like, first of all, that's not how it works. If you're not running out of them, so that's.
He wanted like 100,000 or something like that was minimum.
It was 6 figures that he was asking for, and in my personal opinion, what he was asking, what they were doing was ridiculous and had no merit. But that's just one person's opinion.
And they were doing it in India. It was a program to help find people's lost dots.
Lost what?
Dots. I lost my dots. This is use a miner to help locate dots.
JJT
You heard
said,
of blockchain, right?
Today's video might be your most important video to watch. Thanks, JJT. Yeah, we've still got and here's the other thing that is coming with certainty. The stablecoins will be regulated heavily. Regardless of whatever else happens to the rest of the cryptocurrency world, the stablecoins have to be what they're called. They can't be pegged to something through some other algorithmic function or through some basket of goods. If you have a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, and I'll just tell you right now, this is what's going to happen. The only thing you're going to be able to hold is US dollars if your stablecoin is pegged to the US dollar. If it's pegged to the euro, you're going to have to hold euro. There is no other way to peg something to a currency other than to own the currency. Right? You would have to be the perfect investor. You would have to have a basket of investments that you invested 100% perfectly to exactly mirror the dollar. So they're not going to allow any of that. They're not going to allow any leveraging inside of stable coins, and probably every government's going to come out with their own coin pegged to their own currency, and that's how that's going to work, I think, at the end of the day. Okay, Awakened Soul, welcome, says Goldman's raising $2 billion to buy Celsius Network's assets. To buy their assets makes me nervous. How about their liabilities? How about everybody who's got their money there? Are people going to get their money back? So that's we were talking about that a little bit earlier, but we didn't know, that's a piece of information I didn't have, so you're confirming the Goldman Sachs, what we thought was a rumor. It sounds like that's the real deal. So if they can do that, I'm going to have to look into that. So if they can do that and get people their money back, and Goldman Sachs was among the people in our last crisis back in 2008, they actually played a role in helping stabilize the situation that had spiraled out of control. So maybe they're going to do the same thing here again and get their money back from Celsius. That would be key. They create a lot of goodwill, and again, for Goldman Sachs, $2 billion, that's nothing. So that would be great news. And that would be another gigantic financial institution coming in and supporting the crypto ecosystem in its entirety. So that's huge. Dave saying, Crypto Gianna, buy the dip. speaking about what's coming, 10K video. Oh! I'm so overdue it. This has been an overwhelming market experience. I have to tell you guys, this has been tough. I mean, I'm not complaining. I love what I do, but this market is just vicious. So I'm going to put that video out, but I will give you a sneak peek since I'm so delinquent on putting the video out. We're down about 60% in the 10K challenge. So I'll give the details of that and put it out more, but I've been saying I'm going to put it out, and I still didn't get it out. I will try to get that out this weekend. But yeah, we're down somewhere around 60%, and that actually does, we're not, there's, I think Ethereum at the time was down, they may be up, but I think they were down even more, they might have been down 70%. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, the NASDAQ's down 30-something%, the Russell's down 30-something%, and in general, I mean, my portfolio has gotten, the 10K challenge portfolio has gotten more crypto heavy. Those are my highest conviction plays, despite the fact that I know they're all down 90%. I do believe that long-term and short-term, because a lot of my plays in the 10K challenge, you know, I got to tell you, well, maybe some of you did, but I did not see, like, this is one of the 5 worst markets in the last 100 years. I did not see that coming on January 1st. So a lot of the small cap, high growth stocks that I bought, they're going to take longer to come back around. I'm not selling them because I still think they're massively undervalued and the rotation will occur, but I think it's going to happen in the Bitcoin. We just saw, look what the Bitcoin miners did the last 2 days. Like when Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just moved a tiny bit. I mean, we're talking about Bitcoin 21,000, and the miners are starting to take off. So to me, I've shifted the 10K portfolio. What I've tried to do is replace a few of my stock positions with leap options so that, you know, I'm not out of those positions, but it frees me up because remember, in my 10K challenge, I don't get to add any money, so I can't dollar cost average in over time. I'm just using the initial 10,000 that I put in there. So I've got to get creative with ways to do this. So that was a rough day to start, but I do want to get that out because I know, listen, just from looking at the Discord and watching other people's channels, I know that everybody, you know, has lost a lot of money this year. So I'd like to just show, like, my challenge is going along. It's rough. So I think that mirrors what's happening out there in the world. But you guys can let me know how you're doing. Has anybody found a way to make money in this market? I mean, there are ways to make money in a down market. I'm more of a long-term person, so I don't do a lot of that. But I will tell you, this week, I did buy a bunch of options for some of the miners because I do think we're going to have a little push. I bought them. I plan on selling them shortly if we have a little bit of a run up, and you know, you just pick up a couple extra bucks that way. But I'm not recommending that. You know, some of you guys are very sophisticated and know how to do your options. Strategy is much more complicated than what I just said. Alex is saying, did you publish your miner top 5 list of survivors? So I will do that. I did my list the way I do it, which was just, you know, based on operations by month, but I'm going to give my top 5 and my bottom 5. So I think I've got that worked out, and it's tough because there's kind of like, I might give my top 6 because I think there's 6 I have some pretty strong conviction in. There's a bunch that, you know, could go either way. There's some that can survive that I just think, even if they survive, it doesn't matter. They just don't have the resources to be relevant going forward. So, okay, they're not going to run out of money and go out of business, but it's going to be, you know, when the halving occurs, if you're at 1 exahash, you're of no relevance at that point. So I think a bunch are going to fall into that category. And then I think some bit off, you know, I get Iris Energy came out and radically reduced their numbers on their future hash rate estimates. And And that was just a reality check. And I actually, their stock's been tanking since that happened. I liked that update because every update previous to that, to me, was total nonsense. They were talking 15 exahash, 15 exahash. You guys aren't at 1 yet. Don't talk to me about 15 when you're still figuring out how to get to 1. They just got to 1.1 exahash right now. So they did a reality check. They don't have, I mean, they need like another $400 million or something like that they don't have to execute their plans. And my guess is it's worse than that's what they think they need. They probably need more than that. So, you know, they did. I like the fact that they came out, I won't even say fessed up. I'm sure that was their plan. And you know what? In November, that plan might have worked because, you know, it was raining money in the Bitcoin world in November. But that's not the plan anymore. So they got a plan to get to 4 exahash, which I think sounds like they can do. So that's what I'd like to see all these other companies come out and do. Wolf, instead of being radio silent and giving us a bunch of jumbled up nothing, come out and just tell us what you're doing. And they've got a lot of money. You know, these companies that have $200 million out on deposits, $500 million out on deposits. That's a lot of money to have out on deposits. I want in the monthly update, I want to know, you know, are those things arriving on time? Are there delays? That's huge counterparty risk at this point in a cryptocurrency ecosystem that's crumbling. You know, to have essentially, when you give a $500 million deposit, you lent a bunch of money. So, you know, that's one of the biggest numbers on a lot of these companies' balance sheets. And, you know, it's like one line in a footnote. Oh, by the way, we have, you know, $594 million in deposits out. So I'd like a deeper dive. I'm frustrated with the accounting has to get better inside of the Bitcoin mining. And, you know, all the accounting around cryptocurrency, but the Bitcoin miners in particular have they're going to have their own accounting that they need to do, and they got to get that straight because everybody accounts differently. They put different things in current assets versus long-term assets, and disclosures that aren't there at all. So that's going to be something that's going to improve over time as well. So the companies that don't do a good job disclosing in their monthly updates, and there's some companies, even after I read their quarterly, you know, their 10Q, I still feel like they haven't told me what's going on. So, you know, those are the ones that I worry about. Hold on, I'm just catching up here. I fell behind on the... JJT said, I'm down 48%. So you're doing better than I am. I'm down about 60. So, but listen, I mean, down 48% from the beginning of the year till now is in the retail stocks. The retail stocks are down, the retail investor type stocks, you know, the small cap, high growth stocks, the Russell 2000 stocks, they're down way more than that. Because the Russell 2000 is a strange mix of, and it's literally 2,000 companies. So, you know, the ones that most people trade in have gotten absolutely decimated, and it's the high growth, small cap, high growth, requiring cash flow, not cash flow positive, not making money yet. Those companies, the money has just evaporated from those companies. Awaken Solo saying so many opportunities outside of crypto. Any suggestions? And I mean, yeah, I have some high conviction plays outside of crypto as well, for sure. And, you know, some of them I think are not, the needle's not going to move on them for a while. I'm going to tell you, Nano Dimensions to me, if you want, that is my most undervalued stock in the stock market, in my opinion. And it's not even close. So, like, that's a play where I've got some money parked there because you're literally buying $1 for 50 cents. So that's how that company is valued. It's got an enterprise value of like negative $650 million, which means, you know, they're not even valuing it at their net cash. And it's not because they have a cash burn rate, because they got like a 50-year cash runway. So it's not about that. It's just that's a stock that's been beaten down to a point where just to get back, even if they're doing nothing, just to get back to an unreasonably low price, they should double, in my opinion. So, you know, anything that's got a negative enterprise value that I think is a company that's going to survive, I think is a good, you know, that's a good, you know, it depends on your risk tolerance, it depends on your time frame, but those are good companies to look for. Some of my longer term plays, like I'll tell you, Arrow is a company. I don't know if they're going to get to the finish line on what they're doing, but I like their business model, and it's all about sales for them. Are they going to hit their sales projections? If they hit their sales projections, then they're going to be a winner. If they don't, you know, I guess that's every company. But it's not like they're out of cash. It's not like they need to raise money. They're financially sound, and they've got a infrastructure all set up. Now it's just a matter of, let's see if they sell their product. So, you know, I got some plays like that are, you know, a little bit speculative. I like Volta charging station. Volta charging station. I like Beam. None of this is financial advice, but I'm just telling you guys the ones that I'm looking at and or the ones that I hold. Beam, stock ticker BEEM. That is an EV charging station. It does not compete with the other EV charging stations. And I don't know if you guys can still see me. It seems like something just happened. I think George is gone. Can you guys let me know if you can still hear me? I'm having technical problems. If my technical support is out there anywhere. All right. I don't know how to use any of this equipment, so if you can't see me anymore, I apologize. What was I saying? Okay, you guys can hear me, but you can't see me. Is that what's going on? We're doing this a different way today, and good. All right. Well, everybody can hear me at least. All right. So I apologize. I don't know if I'm not on the screen anymore. At least you can hear me, and I got to wrap it up pretty soon anyway, but we tried this a different way, and I guess we just have a little bit more, work a few kinks out of the system. So anyway, Beam is another company that, in my opinion, like and as an added bonus, I think they're set up for the short squeeze. And I will tell you, I will never invest in a company because I hope it's going to short squeeze. Because to me, that's so speculative that, you know, you might as well just go to the casino. But as an added bonus, it's a company that I love, that is set up for a short squeeze better than any other company in the stock market, in my opinion. Their float is like 8 million shares, and they're extremely heavily shorted. So, you know, getting control of 8 million. The whole thing about a short is, you know, it's hard to have a short squeeze on a company that has 1 billion shares outstanding, because the retail investors aren't going to get control of 1 billion shares. But these guys have 8 or 9 million shares outstanding. They're massively shorted, and in my opinion, they're just undervalued. So my tech is here, and I currently don't exist, so I think he's going to try and see if he can fix that. We're experiencing technical difficulties. All right, let me keep reading while he's doing that. Alex is saying Beam, Volta, Arrow, Romeo, PPSI, and ChargePoint. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good list. I don't disagree with any of those. I mean, ChargePoint, they're the big dog in that space. And they're set up, they got cash. That's the other thing. The only thing about Volta is they have less cash than their competitors, but they're killing it on sales, and the government is going to put money into the EV charging infrastructure plays. So I feel pretty confident about all those plays. Martin, we're trying to fix the camera right now. I'm not sure if we can do it. We did this a different way today, and it's running into a bit of a snag. We can see the mouse moving. Ricky seeing Tom's why tune in. Oh, well, all right, I think we might have fixed the glitch. We'll see in 1 minute. Okay, in the meantime, Samuel is saying, what strategy do you have when your stocks run? Do you sell winners, add to the winners, cut losers? So, I mean, it depends on the stock, but I like to, it depends on the stock and it depends on the run. Thank you. Look, I think you guys should be able to see me. If not yet, then in a second. Tech support has mission accomplished. What I try to do, and what I just set myself up for with the Bitcoin miners, is I like to hold my shares. So if I think a run is coming, you know, I mean, I felt like the Bitcoin miners were ridiculously oversold, even at Bitcoin 20,000. So I bought some options. If we have a run up, I'll get rid of all my options and keep my stock. If I don't have options, then yeah, I will definitely take some. If there's a big run up, especially if it's starting to look from a technical standpoint like we're overbought, I'll take some profits. I don't, but it depends on the stock. Like I don't do that with the Bitcoin miners. I'm not going to sell any of my stock until they get to where they're going. So I mess around with options with those. Otherwise, I just hold them. But some of my lower conviction plays, or ones that I think, you know, are just having a, you know, these EV stocks in particular, they're even more volatile than the Bitcoin mining stocks are. So those are ones I do tend to buy and sell because the run-ups and rundowns that they have are just insanity. So there's Beam I've just held all along. And, you know, that's going to go where it goes. But a lot of the other ones, I do buy and sell some. Volta just signed Kroger. I saw that. That's a gigantic Kroger. And I don't have those here, but I know they are a monster. So that's very big for them. Their revenue, they're on track to, they're probably going to beat their revenue. And the money's sucked out of all the EV plays, all the EV charging station plays today had a bad day on what was a hugely green day. So I don't understand what that little thing was about for one day here today, but like that's what I'm talking about. Those are ultra volatile stocks, and I don't have my pulse on why would those go down today? I mean, the NASDAQ was up 3.34%. The Russell was up 3%. Everything was up huge. Most things were green on the day, and those were down. So I don't get it. But with Beam, I will just be holding them. Let's see. VRM. I got Gus telling me VRM is the next mother of all short squeezes. A lot of groups on Reddit have it climbing their watch lists. So, I mean, I don't know. That's the hardest part for me. I don't look at Reddit, and I spend so much time doing due diligence. I have a very long watch list. And, like, I like to read the financial statements and all that stuff, so it's very time consuming. But, you know, it's also a hobby as far as I'm concerned for me. So, you know, I like doing it, but it's hard for me to get into the stock of the moment because my approach is more of a long-term investor. So, but I'll look at that stock ticker VRM, And what I'd love to do an analysis, but there's no way I'm doing it. Maybe somebody can do this. What percent of these Reddit stocks that gain a consensus ever end up actually squeezing? I know there have been some that do squeeze. I mean, it happens, but... Rob saying it would be great to see a streaming shares video from you, Disney, Paramount, Fubo, Netflix. Yeah, I love that space, and I've studied that massively, so I could definitely do a video on that. Fubo's another one. That company breaks my heart because at any other time in the stock market, they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. I love that company, but their stock is getting punished badly. My technical support's a family member, just so that everybody knows. and it's not because I'm too old to know how to do it. Or maybe it is. Martin saying bought, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Livent, Livent, lithium battery producer. All right, good night, JJT. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for all your comments and support. Why do I not even know? Cameron's asking, what's your take on LUNC? I'm going to look it up because it doesn't even ring a bell. Lunch money, just what it sounds like. I have no take on this. There's 100. I don't know if this is correct or not. Sometimes when these companies get small, Yahoo gets the market cap drastically wrong. But this looks like an unbelievably small micro cap company. I don't know. I don't want to give a take because I don't know anything about it. All right, so I'm going to probably wrap it up, but I appreciate everybody tuning in, and hopefully everybody had a good end of the week. This is the second week in a row that we've had an up day on Friday. Oh, Cameron was asking about Luna. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I mean, well, they probably even have a smaller market cap than this. That situation was a nightmare. And a lot of what's happening to Voyager right now is a byproduct of that. So, that's what happens when everybody leverages up. And that's my short-term concern. We're going to get... I'm very positive on cryptocurrency. I think there's going to be winners and losers. We're not going to have 50,000 coins out there 10 years from now, in my opinion. This will be a more mature, grown-up space, and the programs that have utility, will survive, and the space will grow. I think the space will grow a lot. I'll just leave you also with this thought. I've heard two different YouTubers say, and I just haven't looked it up because I just keep forgetting to. Apparently, they're saying they found a supply of gold that's like equal to all the gold we've ever found. So I got to look into that. And even if it is, it may take 50 years to get it out of there, but that would be an interesting development for gold. And a strong argument for Bitcoin versus gold, because it's just like oil. It turns out, if you'd asked somebody in 1980 how much oil we had, it turns out so far we have about 10 or 20 times as much as we thought, and maybe there's more than that. So, you never know. All right, so I'm wrapping it up. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an awesome weekend. Remember to subscribe if you could like this live stream, and if you want to watch my video I put out today, I think it's an important one, so I appreciate it. Everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully all you guys made money today. We were green today, so congratulations and thanks again. Have a great weekend.